What it is, guys, it's your Dino. We're back again with another review, so let's just get straight into it. This is for Aztech Forgotten Gods, and this game is an indie game. It is using the Unity engine and was released back in December of 2021, and I've had the game for a while and I just wanted to play it and go through it as much as I could and understand it as much as possible before I put the review out. Now, it received a 6 out of 10 on IGN, and it received a 4 out of 10 on Nintendo Life, and a 54% on Metacritic. It's available on the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Series X and S, and the original Xbox One, and the Microsoft Windows. So you can play it on every platform available. And they've done a really good job of it, don't get me wrong. It's a very well made game. I couldn't find bugs that really stuck out, but I just feel like the game has a bit rough around the edges kind of feel to it, because there are things that I notice and feel like could have been done differently. So I'm going to go over that all now, and I'm going to explain what my opinions are and what I feel is the pros and cons of this game. Pros, you're supporting an indie dev, and that's cool, because that's where we'll get lots of our innovations from. So always try and support an indie dev whenever you can, because it's how the industry is going to stay alive. And this one it's a good game, don't get me wrong. It's set in the Aztec pantheon, and they've got really cool features, and they've got some really nice combat mechanics, and it's really fun to play. However, it feels like they had some issues with either funding or time management, because it feels like they cut a lot of corners in certain areas. When you play through the game, you'll notice that there is this weird grunting noise that they do when it comes to the communication in the cutscenes that you're getting, because it's not like a normal cutscene where you have talking. It has this weird grunting sound that the characters were making, like they intended to go for voice acting but couldn't either afford it or they couldn't get it done in time, so they went for just this weird sounds that they make. And it shows in the game that becomes very disconnecting for the player. Personally, I found that really did make me feel detached from what was going on, and the amount of talking that they have in the game is so drawn out. This is probably the longest drawn out story for a action adventure game that I have played in a very long time, because there is a lot of talking. They're trying to explain the Aztec pantheon and so many nuances at once, because they have a passion for their culture or a passion for the world that they've created, that they bombard you with all this backstory and lore. And I feel that it's done in a way that disconnects you from the story, and you don't feel like you're in the moment enough. However, if you can get past that, it does play very well and you can have a lot of fun with it. There is customizability when you get into the game past the lengthy tutorial stuff that goes on, that is literally on the rail stuff, until you get to the point where it opens out and you can use a map and you can travel around the city and stuff like that. It is very time consuming at the beginning, and I feel that is probably what will cause a lot of people to go, this is just taking too long, I'm not interested, and just give up. I will say that on the Nintendo Switch version, which is what I'm playing on in the video, it doesn't handle very well. I feel like it's very sub 30 frames, and it does struggle quite a bit. I have watched other friends play it on other platforms, PlayStation and Xbox, and it does seem to run a heck of a lot smoother. I do feel that if I was to recommend this game, I would recommend you get it on either the PC or the PlayStation or the Xbox, because on the Nintendo Switch version, it doesn't seem to run as great. So if you do want the best version of the game, I recommend anything that isn't the Switch for this title, because I think that the SoC on the Switch isn't powerful enough to run the game at the higher end of the FPS that it's trying to hit. So it feels very clunky and stuttery on the Nintendo Switch. Now that's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's just how I felt and what it felt like playing the game for me. I feel that the art style is very nice, and the character models, in keeping with their art style, is very well done. If you have played this game, please let me know, and I'd love to know what your opinions are of it. Sound off in the comments. I really do appreciate it when you guys do sound off in the comments about what you thought of the game, what you thought of the review, constructive criticisms, feedback. It's all greatly appreciated. I take everything in, and I love to converse with you guys about stuff like this. So make sure you hit us up there, and I'm always willing to answer any questions or answer your opinions, or let's have a back and forth with what our opinions are on the game, and whether you've played it or whatever. You know, we talk about all sorts on the streams and stuff like that, so you can always check those out. There's always links in the descriptions for everything that I talk about, and it's really, really good. I feel that they've done a very good job for an indie dev to release a game across so many different platforms. But I feel that the problem that this game has had is that it's run out of money, I feel, to become the best version it could do. So I feel that if people probably support this game, they may make other projects, and they may end up being able to do better games. But it does feel very disconnected with the character models and the movements. As you can see there, this just happened. This talking movement that the character is doing isn't accompanied by the words that you see on the screen. It's just the character does this same movement over and over again until you have read the writing, and then you press the button to carry on the conversation. And I feel that is the biggest problem with this game. It feels very disconnected with regards to the flow of the game with the action on the screen. So when you're reading all this plethora of conversation that's explaining things, you've got this character movement that doesn't just marry up well. It feels disconnected, and so you become disconnected from the game. But if you can get past that, the gameplay, the story, the mechanics that they've got in there are very, very cool, very, very unique. And once you've gotten through the tutorial and you can get past that, I feel that you could enjoy this game and you could have a lot of fun with it. But that's just my opinion. I'd love to know what you guys think. Sound off in the comments, let me know. Hit me up on social media if you want, and we could discuss games, comics, animes, all sorts of things like that. I just recently watched the new Halo series, episode 1, and I would love to talk about that on stream tonight, or if you guys drop by. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Be safe and have fun gaming. Bye.